Project Warlock is a game that has been in my backlog for quite some time. I recently finished Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, A Plague Tale, 2 Yakuza games. Yes, I got through Kiwami since I made my Yakuza 0 review. It was great. And the game that I'll probably find a way to mention in every video I ever make, Sekiro. What could cleanse the palate after all that? Turns out the answer was a no-nonsense indie shooter, which has scratched my nostalgia itch for the original Doom in an even more direct way than the also amazing Doom 2016. While the new Doom focuses on bringing the spirit of the original into the modern age through mobility mechanics, flashy glory kills, and Denise Richards and Starship Troopers' beautiful graphics, Project Warlock brings back the look, speed, and design of the early to mid-90s shooters with a side order of light RPG systems and a serving of permadeath for dessert. Wait, I know I said the PD word. It's not quite as punishing as you think. Or it's more punishing. I don't know, I'm not a mind reader, your thoughts are your own. You start the game with a handful of lives, and on the standard difficulty, you can gain more as you play. You really need to be careful with your lives though, because once that number hits 0, you are forced to start the entire game over again. Full stop, there's no booting up an old save, no stat progress or weapon upgrades carried over, and due to the save file being stored in the Windows registry rather than a traditional save document, there isn't even a simple way to subvert this system. That's the only element of the system that I find kind of egregious too, as I think having an option to back up your save file is important, if for no other reason than to have a life raft which could save you from drowning in a blue sea of death, if you know what I'm saying. That daunting asterisk notwithstanding, the game is not insanely long, and once you get a feel for the rhythm of the gameplay, it's not overly challenging either. So while I did make it 2 levels into the final world, only to lose my last life and get booted all the way back to the beginning, I wasn't discouraged from firing up a second run. With what I learned about the RPG systems and how to build my character in a manner that suited my playstyle, I got through the game without any issues the second time. If you go into your first playthrough thinking of it as your training run, it'll probably take a lot of the sting out of defeat. Or you're better at old school shooters than I am and you'll knock the game out on your first try. There's a one life only hard mode for the likes of you. There's also a casual mode that removes the permadeath entirely if you want to just run through some pretty pixel art levels, killing the hell out of all manner of visually interesting monsters with a large assortment of equally cool weapons and spells. What the game lacks in narrative, it certainly makes up for in interesting, homage-heavy visuals. There are 5 worlds in the game, each with 4 levels and a boss, with each of those levels having between 2 and 4 stages. Each world has its own unique theme and style. You begin in the medieval world where you fight demons, zombies, and skeleton knights, then you go to Antarctica to tend with Lovecraftian creatures and direct homages to John Carpenter's The Thing. After that, you're off to ancient Egypt, because why the fuck not, where you'll do battle with rocket launcher-equipped mummies and anthropomorphic cats. The 4th level is a near-future robot dystopia, which made me feel at home with Terminator and Ed 209 inspired enemies. And finally, you travel to Hell. Hell is incredible. Each of Hell's 4 levels takes on a characteristic of the other worlds, so you get Medieval Hell, Antarctic Hell, Egypt Hell, and Future Hell, all while tending with amped up versions of all the previous world's unique enemies, in addition to new demons who look like they were ripped straight out of the pages of Berserk. Particularly this land shark thing, I swear that's the same thing that bit off Guts' arm at the end of the Golden Age arc. Read or watch Berserk, it's awesome. Seriously though, Project Warlock's art is some of the best I've seen in a pixel art indie game. It's homaging things left and right, but it all feels respectful and fresh rather than like it's trying to mask a mediocre game with nostalgia. A big reason is because the gameplay in Project Warlock fucking rocks. It's fast and fluid, with razor-sharp controls and some of the most satisfying weapons in any shooter I've ever played. It riffs on classic weapon types from the pixel art shooters of the 90s. There's a fantastic minigun, a BFG clone, a rocket launcher that looks comically like Quake's rocket launcher if the rocket launcher from Quake actually looked like a rocket launcher, and an extremely awesome double-barrel shotgun with incendiary shells. This shotgun is just... ooh. It's a good one. To get that good flaming shotgun, you'll have to find the double barrel shotgun in a level, as well as utilize one of the game's RPG mechanics. Weapons and spells are mediated with upgrade points. These upgrade points are pickups, which you'll find plenty of, particularly if you're looking for secrets. And yes, the Doom method of press space while running along the wall works. Each weapon can be upgraded in one of two ways. It's here that the depth in the character building starts to reveal itself. The upgrade you choose for each weapon is permanent and you can't roll it back, so it pays to read the descriptions before you choose. I strongly recommend getting the .50 pistol, the flame barrel double shotgun of awesomeness, and the instant fire chain gun, but you might want to try some others if your playstyle isn't similar to mine. You could even neglect the weapon upgrades entirely and spend all those points on spells. Admittedly, I didn't do a lot of this. I bought a free spell which was useful every now and then, and a shield which helped a lot during the final boss, but the guns were so much fun and so effective that I didn't really feel the need to explore the spells very much. Maybe if I go through the game again, I'll do a caster run, use nothing but stock guns, and put all my points into spells and become a warlock. There are two other upgrade systems in addition to the unlock points, stat points and perks. Stats are simple enough to understand. The experience you gain from killing enemies and picking up the copious amounts of treasure lying around the battlefield gives you a point which you can invest in life, spirit, strength, or capacity. Life is your health, spirit is your mana, strength is your melee damage, and capacity is the amount of ammo you can carry. Nothing crazy. Where things get a bit more interesting is that every 5 levels you advance through the experience system, you can choose one perk. These perks can really give your chosen playstyle a boost. My love of the aforementioned Fire Shotgun of the Gods led me to choose a perk which gave me extra shotgun shells with every ammo pickup. Another very useful one gives you a random additional stat point on every level up. I won't explain them all here, but there are options to fiddle with which both helps you feel like you're getting tangibly stronger and could give you a reason to replay the game later with a different build. There's also a bunch of graphics filters to fiddle with if you want the game to look even more retro on a second run, but I honestly didn't like any of them. It's nice that they're included, but not for me. The game is a great value too. I bought this game on GOG a few months ago, but didn't get around to playing it, so I'm honestly not sure how much I paid for it originally. I think it was like 25 bucks. But currently it's $15 in Canada on Steam, and it comes with the game's great soundtrack. If you have any love for first-person shooters, new or old, I strongly recommend this game. However, if you don't like FPS games, or you need the shooters that you play to have a strong narrative to hook you in, this is not going to be up your alley at all. It's not going to tell you an unforgettable story, it doesn't have compelling characters, and it doesn't try to make any kind of profound political statements. You're just a badass who travels through some cool-looking environments, killing cool-looking enemies with cool-looking guns that feel great. You're also a wizard, I guess. Who cares? Just grab that shotgun and shoot some demons and Terminators. Don't shoot me, though. I'm not the Terminator kind of cyborg. I'm more like RoboCop. I have a human brain. And feelings.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Mark.